This is Tech Pulse, a show that keeps you in step with the technological world and one step ahead of everybody else.
What's up? What's up? This is Friday, April 26, 2013, and you have tuned into Tech Pulse. Yeah, this is the show that gives you all the tech news that you want to hear, all the tech news that you need to survive in the tech world. So we're just going to head right into our stories today. Our first story right away is talking about Microsoft. Yeah, you know, we talked about here on Tech Pulse, we talked about how Microsoft was having trouble with their Windows 8 operating system as far as people using the Windows 8 Metro system. They call it Metro, or the tile system. You know, people were just saying that, you know, I mean, if you have a machine that is not created for touch, I mean, it's a problem. You know, it's a problem using Windows 8. And according to a report coming out this week, Microsoft seems to have, you know, basically conceded in what basically every critic, user, every analyst knows about Windows 8. And that is that their OS needs that start button back. People want to be able to navigate differently than they do with their fingers with the tiles. It's just not as easy without a touch machine as it is with a touch machine, and people are saying they wanted that start button back. And ever since Microsoft made the controversial decision to dump the start button and not offer a boot to the desktop option with Windows 8, you go right to those tiles. You know, PC users complained loudly about the change. I mean, this thing was going all around the net. People were saying that they just didn't like the user interface when it came to using Windows 8 if your machine is not geared for touch. If it's geared for touch, such as like a tablet or an Ultrabook with touchscreen capability and stuff like that, then it wasn't so bad. But if you're trying to navigate the Windows tile system with a trackpad, it just became a mess. And heeding the users' feedback, Microsoft said they will bring back the iconic start button later this year with the release of Windows Blue. That's what the code name is for the update to Windows 8, Windows 8.1. They're code naming it Windows Blue. If you are one of those people that upgraded to Windows 8 and you have a machine that is not touch and you're like, man, this thing is terrible to navigate and whatnot, well, when Windows Blue comes out later this year, you're going to be able to upgrade and get that start button back that brings up, you know, the programs and stuff like that. And according to The Verge, they said that the return of the start button from people in the industry, you know, people in the industry, people working at ZDNet, people working at Windows Watcher, all of them, you know, who had sources inside Microsoft said that this is what was happening with all, you know, these separate reports coming in. They all said the same thing. It sounds like a near certainty that the famous start button that, you know, we all know when it comes to Windows is coming back, you know. But hey, they say that you shouldn't stop practicing your hot corner navigation just yet, you know, because Windows 8.1 nears its official release in August, and you know, plans could change. You know, Microsoft could say they're going to do this and then they sneak out Windows 8.1 or Windows Blue without it. I mean, if they do that, you know, they're all but just, they'll all but be guaranteeing Windows 8 just does not get the adoption that they're looking for. And if the start button does come back, then the other question now is going to be, how will this start button work? You see, is it going to be the same like before? Is it a version of the start button? You know, The Verge said, one of these online publications said that the start button will be just a way to access the start screen and will not include the traditional start menu. That may mean a new start button would simply shoot you back to the start screen at the lower left hot corner does now, like the lower left hot corner does for Windows 8. When you want to go back to the start screen, you just hit that. They're saying that the start button might do that. However, Microsoft Cloud, however, returned to an idea that it used in the early build of Windows 8 around 2011. Back then, tapping the start button brought up the compact menu, you know, like a little small menu with a few options such as, you know, like control panel, shutdown, start screen, stuff like that. So they may do something like that. The point is, what Microsoft is going to do with this start button, we don't know. What we do know is that they have said that all reports are saying that they are going to bring it back. That's what the reports are saying, but we don't know in what fashion. And I mean, if I was Microsoft and I saw this backlash with what Windows 8 hasn't really been adopted, people who use it with touch-based systems, you know what I'm saying, may not mind it, but people who using this thing without the touch-based system, they all say the same thing. It's just difficult to navigate, you know, using just the trackpad. You know, it's difficult. And Microsoft is saying that they've heard you. They're saying that, okay, we've heard all the complaints, we've conceded, we're going to bring back a start button, but they haven't really said if they're going to bring it back in the way that we know. Right now, when you on Windows 7, when you press the start button, you get a list of all kind of options, accessories, all the programs, control panel, programs, documents, music, all that stuff comes up. They're saying that maybe maybe Microsoft may do that, or maybe they might just do a scaled down version of it. You know, we don't know. But my point is, if Microsoft wants to make sense of Windows 8, and when I say make sense of it, I mean if they want to save Windows 8, because right now Windows 8 is not doing well. And if Microsoft wants to really bolster Windows 8, they're going to do this, you know. And while naysayers will point out that they point this out as a failure on Microsoft's part not to do that start button, they have like no compromises. You know Microsoft before they just like with Windows 8 having that 1368 by 768 resolution hard. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you know, if your machine doesn't have that resolution, you can't run Windows 8. They just not, well, they weren't changing that. Now they're realizing that, hey, you're only hurting yourself by having such a hard and fast rule. You see what I'm saying? So they've scaled back their specifications for Windows 8, allowing it to be run on machines that doesn't have such a high resolution. You know, but we got to see if Microsoft is actually going to bring this start button back in a way that will help users want to run back to Windows 8 and say, oh, okay, you know, Windows 8 now is good. You know what I'm saying? They're doing different things. Yes, we're going to use Windows 8 now, because right now, matter of fact, the industry, the PC industry sales, as we've reported here on Tech Pulse, sales have slumped tremendously for PC sales worldwide. Not just here in the US, but worldwide. And many experts are attributing it to Windows 8, that people just don't like to use Windows 8. So if they're going to get a new machine pre-installed with Windows 8, they're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they're either going to go to Apple, you know what I'm saying, or they're just going to get a tablet, Android tablet, and suffice with that, or stay with their old machine. You know, stay with their old machine with Windows 7 or something like that. And that's what experts are trying to say.
Have they questioned people? Have they done like any surveys to see, or it's just a gut feeling that's...
No, they've questioned people. The various reports have questioned people who have used Windows 8. And when I say various reports, I mean there has been reports come out of surveys that have been done with people who have used Windows 8. And people have said that it's just difficult to navigate using the traditional touch mouse pad. If they're using a touch screen situation, they say it's not so bad. But if I have Windows 8 on a machine that's not touch, people have said resoundingly it's difficult. to navigate those tiles with just my touchpad. And Microsoft, all the newer machines coming out have Windows 8 pre-installed. And many of those machines are not touch. And that's where Microsoft didn't really think. They're trying to push everyone into this touch generation, which is fine. But then you have to make sure that the machines are there. So the majority of people who use Windows 8 will be using Windows 8 on touch machines. They didn't really do that. Now they had their the RT, Windows RT, which is a scaled down version of Windows 8, come out on tablets, and it doesn't really give you the functionality and things that you need, really to be productive. So Windows RT, nobody really cares about too much. I mean, you get it because you don't have a choice. But if you get like a Microsoft Surface or a Windows tablet, which is the Microsoft Surface, but people want to use the full operating system, just can't use it without touch.
I was thinking that maybe the slump was because of pads,
iPads, tablets.
Yeah,
that's
tablets.
A part of it. But that they have cut into the PC sales. But they're saying that the drastic drop is not just tablets. It's people are not buying computers. And when they do the research and they ask, well, why aren't you buying a computer or whatnot? People say, well, I just don't like Windows 8. I don't like how I have to use it with my touchpad. And so now, obviously, they can't survey everyone who's used Windows 8 machines, but enough people have voiced concerns that they're attributing that some of the downturn has to be because people are not buying PCs. Well, the downturn is because people are not buying PCs, but the reason is not just that people are using their iPads. It's not just that people are using tablets more, but people don't like the operating system that Microsoft has come out with this time around as it relates to the older computer machines and upgrades and so forth. People just don't like that. And so that's why Microsoft now is conceding to say, because, I mean, if the start button wasn't an issue, then why would Microsoft even consider saying, okay, yeah, we're going to bring it back? Well, what are you bringing it back for if nobody cares? Clearly, enough people have spoken to where Microsoft is now saying, okay, I've heard you. And this is the report coming out. They said that in Windows Blue, which is the next version, Microsoft is going to bring back the start button that they nixed in Windows 8. You see, and matter of fact, the guy who used to work at Microsoft, who was such a stickler for that, is no longer there. So now maybe other people in Microsoft are saying, hey, look, this thing isn't selling. We told you, but that guy wouldn't listen. He's gone now. Let's try and do something different, you see? And so if Microsoft is going to bring back that start button, the question now is, for us, how are they going to bring it back? They didn't say they're going to bring it back with all the functionality of it now. When you press the start button now in a Windows 7, you get, all your programs, not all of them, but most of the programs loaded on your machine comes up right there on the side. Accessories, your control panel, computer, documents, music, video, all of that stuff comes on the side. But they're saying it might just be a scale down, just, maybe computer and control panel, in there, and that's it. So we got to see. We got to see if Microsoft is going to heed the need of the consumer, or they're just going to say, you know what, we'll come back, but we're going to do it on our terms, and that's going to be a death sentence for Microsoft if they keep up that line of thought process, especially with people like Google, who has done a lot with the Android system. Google is not slowing down, and when we say they're not slowing down, Google recently this week, according to TechCrunch, Google is going to buy a company called Wavy. Now, many of you might say, well, who's Wavy? What is that? But this is tied into, I believe, what Marissa Mayer did at Yahoo with Sumbly. Because Wavy is a natural language processing startup. You know what I'm saying? What they do is similar to what Sumbly does. Basically, this is how the technology of Wavy works. It looks at a piece of content, it summarizes it into quick, digestible blurbs, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that for people can use and decide what to read and stuff like that. Just the same as Sumbly. Now, Google just picked them up. Same amount of money as Yahoo paid for Sumbly, $30 million. Google paid the same thing for Wavy. And Matter of fact, both Apple and Google were competing for that startup company. They were both trying to buy it, even though Apple has a deal. You know, they have not a merger, but Apple and Yahoo are working closely together. And Yahoo is bringing their Sumly acquisition to Apple, which Apple is going to use in Siri. But yet Apple wanted to buy Wavy as well. You know what I'm saying? Same type of company, but Apple is like, we don't want anyone else to have this technology. I mean,
They must think a lot of it.
exactly. They must think a lot of that because they are going to integrate somebody into with Siri. And a matter of fact, they say Apple wanted the company which develops its own aggregation technology, natural summarization algorithm for its Siri division. They wanted Wavy for that division as well as having Sumly already. I mean, Devin, do you think this is one of those things where you already have an apple pie? You see an apple pie next door, you want to have that too, just so I don't get the apple pie. Is that what Apple is doing, or is Apple's was legitimately just trying to bolster their technology?
No. They are serious about their position
Right.
in the market. They're serious about how they're going to stabilize that drop that's happening, that slide.
Right, that
They
they're
want-
experiencing.
They're experiencing that slide. And one of the ways to do it is to kill any kind of technology development that their competition is buying. So
Right.
rather than allowing their competition to get those new technologies, they'll spend the money to buy it, even if it's not going to benefit them.
Right, and
in
even if
any
it's
way.
a redundant technology because you have it already, they're just trying to make sure that Google doesn't get it. But Google won out. You know what I'm saying? Google won out in that acquisition, and Microsoft wasn't, not Microsoft, Apple wasn't able to
A
stop
lot of
them.
soccer teams do that.
Oh, that's how it works in soccer.
Oh yeah, they
You-
don't want anybody else to get the player. They have a great player on the books,
Right.
but if they don't buy that player might play against them.
So they're gonna make sure no one can buy.
Kill the
And
competition.
what according to a rumor, they say that the team that Google just bought, Wavy, their team is gonna move from Seattle, where the startup is based, to join Google's Knowledge Graph team in Google's home base. And they say that they haven't been able to really confirm this, but it makes sense that the given Wavy's language processing capabilities, what it can do, that Google would want to have them at their headquarters as opposed to working remotely. You know, because like we said, you know that Yahoo had Sumly, and now Yahoo is working with Apple with Sumly. So now we see that Google is trying to get, because they also have a automated voice virtual assistant in the Google Play Store, that they too are probably trying to bolster and trying to, you know what I'm saying, get that going better than what they have now. But the interesting thing about this is Wavy was founded in 2009, and they only were able to raise, in addition to this, when I say only, I mean they raised funds of $2 million, you know, when they started up in 2009. Thus far, they raised those $2 million funds, and they were bought by Google for according to the report, between 30 and 40 million dollars. I mean, Devin, does this just tell you, when it comes to startup companies, when it comes to people having a dream, you know what I'm saying, doing the work it takes to put that dream into action, that you put enough hard work in, somebody is going to notice. And when somebody notices, you know, because I mean, here you have these guys, two guys, one 17-year-old who started Sumly, and his company was bought $30 million. You know, so conceivably, you know, if it was just him, he doesn't have, you know, he's set. You know, that acquisition of $30 million, and then now you have Wavy the same way, you know, being bought for $30 million. I mean, are people seeing the value in startups? Is that where the real, you know, entrepreneurship is really going? These startup companies, especially in the tech sector.
Yeah, you referred to the idea that some people have great ideas and they don't get picked up.
Right.
Those great ideas die by the wayside. That's one of my biggest fears. I think I go to sleep at night or not sleep at night because of that.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we come up with these great ideas and you either don't have the funding to make it
What it
impressive
can be.
enough
Right.
so that the people will take notice, or you just don't know the right people or don't cross paths with the right people to make a difference in terms of picking it up or pushing it forward, or
Right.
so it's really key. It's
Yeah.
really key to be in the right place, right time, and to be able to sell your idea. And yeah, in a sense, I think that's a critical path for big companies going forward, to actually have scouts,
Right.
people who are just looking
Their
for the
only
next
job.
great idea,
Right.
and to recognize that this is a winning idea. How can we integrate it into our system? I hate the idea of killing off an idea just because you don't want somebody else to get it. But the fact is, companies do that.
Right.
They'll kill an idea because they don't want to necessarily invest in that idea right now, but they
Right.
don't want anybody else to get it.
Because they
You know,
see
the potential,
potential
for
in it, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that, to me is important. When I see these small companies being bought up by bigger companies, it shows me, and the companies are willing to pay for it. It shows me that these companies recognize the value in what these smaller companies have to offer. They recognize the value, and it's not easy to bring something to market, especially in the tech world, that either hasn't already been done or done well. So it's one of those things that it really shows that Google is forward thinking in trying to not keep up with Apple, I would say, but understanding the value of an algorithm, a program that will go out on the internet, grab news, grab whatever kind of news you want, whether it's news, weather, sports, bring it from all over, and then summarize it into snippets so that people can digest these things in small snippets, not just headlines. You see, what Sumley and what Wavy do is different than just having a headline, Obama talks at summit. You know what I'm saying? But then you still don't know what he talked about. You don't know anything. What these applications do, they're not bringing headlines to you. They're bringing summarizations of the story of Obama talking at summit, or stories of whatever is going on in the world. So you're going to get a synopsis of that without having to just read a headline and be like, oh man, I wonder what he said. You're going to get the synopsis so you know enough to know about it, and then maybe later you can go ahead and read it more if you want to or whatnot. But that's the power that these, and especially with the advancement of Siri, with the advancement of Sherpa and different things like that, these virtual assistants, it would be cool to wake up. You know what I'm saying? And all you do is talk to your phone, Sherpa or Siri. What's the top stories for today? And not get, I brought up 4 websites for you. And that doesn't tell me anything. But right away, what are the top stories? And Siri will list in chunks, not just Obama goes to summit. But Siri will read out, because of Sumley and their union with Apple, with Yahoo, Siri will read out the snippet, the summary of that news that Sumley brought to Siri. And you can just listen to news when people say, yeah, well, I can hear that on the TV. Yeah, but you may not get the top news stories that's going around. You might get whatever they are showing right now, or they already talked about the top stories by the time you get up. The good thing about this is that whenever you get up, whenever you're ready, you can just ask Siri, what's the top stories for today? Whenever you want. You see, not just when 9 o'clock come or 10 o'clock, oh man, I missed the headlines. No. And that's what Apple, that's what Google, that's what these companies understand. People are on the move today, and that's what these acquisitions they're making is geared towards people on the move, people who want their news, people who want their sports, people who want their weather, and they want it wherever they go without having to miss this, or I have to tune in at this time or get updates when they give me updates. No. And that's going to be something key going into the future. Now, something that's also going to be key going into the future, talking about Apple, is also, you know, the security alerts that have been coming out of China. You know, and according to a report by PC Magazine, the Security Watch, they said that they did the research, and Chinese cyber attacks had skyrocketed in 2012. So when we see that these companies that approached Obama, the businesses that approached Obama and said that, look, China, a lot of our malware attacks were traced back to China, and China was saying, oh, what are you trying to say? Come back to us for? You know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, you get a couple of malware. What's the big deal? And companies are like, yeah, but we have a lot of data. You know what I'm saying? We have big data. These are not just ma and pa. Not to say that ma and pa stores aren't important, but these are not stores with just, you know, maybe 100 people. These are stores that have thousands, tens of thousands of people on their banks. You know, and that's why they were able to get the government to sign an injunction against China and their businesses from doing business with the U.S. because they're saying your stuff is just too, you have too much malware coming through, you see? And the reports looked at some 47,000 incidents, of which 621 were confirmed data breaches within the past year. You see, in general, most of these 621 attacks were focused on the financial institutions, you know, which are the companies that we're talking, were perpetrated by outsiders. They said 37% was on the financial institutions that were perpetrated by outsiders, 92%, and they exploited weak or broken credentials. They read passwords, got email addresses and stuff like that. They said that the surprise was the realization that 19% of the breaches were attributed to a state-affiliated actor. They said 25% had nothing to do with money, the motivator for most cybercrime, and 25% were targeted attacks. And they said 96% of the espionage cases were eventually linked to China. 96%. You see? So, I mean, this wasn't something that is just people were just saying. You know, this isn't something because they did their research and they saw that 96% of these things came back to China, and, you know, China is up in arms. But what we're trying to say is that if you have, you know, an Android device, if you have passwords out there in terms of you have accounts with Google, accounts with, you know, Twitter, you know, LinkedIn, all these different things, you know, try to be as secure as you can, simply because, you know, cyber attacks are coming up bigger and bigger and bigger every year. They're coming up bigger and bigger, and if you don't make sure that your stuff, and that's why you have to have the 3-2-1 rule when it comes to storing your data. Have your data stored in 3 different locations. Make sure 2 of them is off-site and 1 in the cloud. You see? So that's that 3-2-1 mentality. 3 locations, you know what I'm saying? 1 could be physical, you know what I'm saying? 1 could be on your computer at home, and the other a cloud service. You see? So you could have 2 of them off-site, meaning like backup hard drive or something like that you store in another location, or even a thumb drive, you know, you download your information onto it or whatnot. But the point is, you need to have these various modes, or not modes, of ways of protecting your data, because if you don't, I'm telling you, man, you're just asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble with that capital TRA. You know, so go ahead and make sure that data is backed up. And, you know, you won't have to worry about these reports. Now, speaking of, because we talked about Windows 8 and Windows coming up with the start button, even though Windows have been, Microsoft has been having a lot of trouble with their Windows 8, according to a report, Windows 8 tablets have hit 3 million shipped in the first quarter. 3 million Windows 8 tablets have been shipped in the first quarter, and that's just the preliminary results. You know, Microsoft and its partners have cracked the tablet market. As you know, and the Windows 8 tablets took 7.5% of the global market based on the operating system market share the first quarter. Only 7.5% because you have Android and then you have Apple. So right away we see that Microsoft doesn't have a large share of the market. But yet, their Windows 8 tablets seem to be doing pretty decent, 3 million units in the first quarter. So if you're someone who is waiting to see how Microsoft would do, if Microsoft is really gonna make it before you bought a Windows 8 tablet, well, I'll tell you this: the Windows 8 tablets, with the operating system RT, you're gonna get that scaled down version of Windows 8, but people are seeing the power. People are seeing the use of the Windows 8 tablet, but it's just not it's not anything that would draw you away from an Android tablet or an Apple tablet. Let me just put it that way. So it's one of those things to where if you're desperate for a Windows tablet, oh man, I must have Windows, then Microsoft is doing some things with their Windows 8 tablets. But if you can, if you have an Android tablet, you have an Apple iOS tablet, I wouldn't even worry about what Windows is saying, because even though they hit that 3 million units in the first quarter shipped and that's 3 million units was shipped in the first quarter. That doesn't mean sales. You could ship stuff. Now you might say, well, if they shipped it, that must mean people want it and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But shipping and buying is two different things, so you can't, Microsoft released this information saying, hey man, we shipped 3 million units. That don't mean people are buying it though. So you don't want to be confused by those numbers.
And maybe they deliberately use those terms.
And maybe they deliberately,
because they know exactly
that the sales aren't there. So they said shipped in terms of sold. Exactly, all play on words. So you just have to, when you hear these reports, don't just look at it and say, oh man, the tablet is popular. No, they just shipped it. And for all we know, 3 million have been shipped back. But they didn't say that part, you see? So, you just gotta, you have to know what you're doing and what you're looking for. That's the bottom line. You have to know what you're looking for, and don't just give in to the hype. Don't just worry about, oh man, Windows tablets look good, I'm just gonna do it. Nah man, don't just give in to the hype, because in the end, you want something that's gonna be sustainable. And right now, to be honest, I don't know if Windows is really going to continue to support their tablets and the Windows phones and stuff like that are coming out. They're trickling here and there. You have these things, but I don't know how long before Microsoft just says, you know what, this just isn't working, and you hear just 1 month Microsoft decides to pull the plug on their Windows 8 portable devices. You see, because that could happen with the sales that they're receiving, the slump that they're in, with the phone division that's just not doing well, with the tablet division that their Windows tablets haven't really sold. The selling numbers haven't been there, you see. So we just gotta wait and see. But we're bringing you those reports so you know what's out there. Now, speaking of things being sold, Verizon, as you know already, Verizon, because we talked about this on another Tech Pulse, that Verizon, Vodafone had a 45% stake in Verizon, and Verizon has been trying to get that stake back. Now that Verizon has been, making a few dollars, have a few coppers, nickels to rub together. Verizon basically roughly offered $100 billion bid for Vodafone's stake in their wireless company. That's huge. According to this report that we was reading, Verizon Communications has hired advisors, they say, to prepare a possible $100 billion bid to take full control of Verizon Wireless, take it back from its partner Vodafone Group that had the 45% stake in Verizon. Is contemplating a roughly 50-50 cash and stock bid for the 45% stake in Verizon Wireless it doesn't already own, that Vodafone owned. According to the report, they say there are no guarantees that Vodafone will be interested in a deal, that any bid will materialize, but they say Verizon was ready to push aggressively and hope to start discussions with Vodafone soon for a friendly agreement. Now, you know what I'm saying, what does this mean? You're saying, well, Vodafone owns, well, Verizon wants to have full control back of their company. Verizon wants to have full control, even though Vodafone doesn't have a majority share, they have 45%, but Verizon wants to get back full control because they're trying to do a lot of things, especially to compete with companies like T-Mobile that offered their prepaid program and stuff like that. And I think what Verizon is trying to do is they're trying to position themselves to be able to be controllers of their own destiny without having to worry about other companies telling them or other companies having a say in what they're doing. Because in recent news this week, Verizon announced that they were starting a $50 for 1 gigabyte of data and unlimited text and talk. They had something they call a share everything plan. That's what Verizon is trying to come out with now, a share everything plan. They're trying to compete with T-Mobile, and this bid they're making for Vodafone, I think really is their attempt to really try to how should we put it? To get a stake, to really position themselves in a position where they can take back their company, the full control of their company. And with this this plan that they have for $50 for 1 gigabyte of data, you know, I mean, basically, they say Verizon is offering unlimited minutes and texting and then adding on a set amount of data at an account level. The fees start with a monthly access fee, which is basically where you choose the amount of data you think your family is going to use. That's what they're saying. So here's how it breaks down. You have 1 gigabyte, you know, for $50. You have 2 gigabytes for $60, 4 gigabytes for $70, 6 gigabytes for $80, and 8 gigabytes for $90, and then you round off with 10 gigabytes of data for $100. Then after that now, after you decide how much your family is going to use, so if you have a big family, you say, okay, we're going to use 10 gigabytes of data, you know what I'm saying, easy, so per month. So you pay that $100, then you start adding on devices up to 10, with which each come with their own fee. Smartphones, $40 each. Features phones for $30. Jetpacks, USB dongles, notebooks, netbooks, tablets, all that stuff. $20. $20 for the notebooks, and tablets will be like $10 and stuff like that. So you start adding on devices that's going to be using this this data, the 10 gigabytes of data that you bought, or 2 gigabytes or whatnot. You start adding different devices. Let me give you a practical example. If your family has 2 smartphone lines, right, and 1 feature phone, you have $40 per smartphone, and then $30 for the feature phone. So you have 2 smartphones, $40 per smart, that's $80. And then you have $30 for the feature phone, so that's $110 right there. And you want, say, 6 gigabytes of data shared between all of you, then you have to add $80 to that, you see, to the $110 that you already have. So now you're up to $190. And if you have a 4G LTE tablet, you can add that to the account for another $10. So that's basically how they're trying to break things down, so that they're saying that with this plan, that way families can really, you really have a bill that's not $100. So if it's $200, it's going to be $200, not it's $200 and tax fees, this, that, and the next thing, and all that. So $500. You know, they're trying to make it to where you can have a bill that's more manageable. You see, so. You know, Verizon is doing a lot of things, you know, Verizon. So if you're a Verizon customer and you're looking for a different type of plan, then the share everything plan is something that you may want to look into. You know what I'm saying? Want to look into, you know, it depends on how much data you think you're going to use. I mean, if you download things like crazy, videos and all that stuff, then maybe, what I'm saying, maybe you want to deal with this plan. I still think the T-Mobile plan, as far as phones go, I still think that plan is excellent that they're coming up with. But a lot of people, you don't want to change. You don't want to change your carrier. You like Verizon, so this is something that Verizon is coming up with, and it's something that they have as an option for their customers. So hey, if you're a Verizon person, go for it. I mean, take that plunge. Because well, I wouldn't even say it's a plunge, but take that. Go ahead and sign up for that offer, because I mean, if you're someone that uses a lot of data, you're someone that uses a lot of you download a lot of things. This might be something that you can use, because that way you can tailor make it to what you're going to use. If you're being charged for, like right now, they're giving you unlimited data, or unlimited, and you're paying an exorbitant amount. This way you could say, well, I only use 1 gigabyte of data a month, but I have to pay for 10 or 15. Now you can just pay for what you feel you're going to use. Now, is there overages with this? I don't know. They didn't say anything about it, so that's something you're going to want to check with Verizon, your carrier, to make sure that it's not just, if I use 1 gigabyte, what if I go over that, or will they cut you off so you can't go over? I mean, these are things that they're not necessarily saying, but these are things that you have to check to make sure that you won't get gypped with that. So now we want to go over to our little gaming zone. A lot of times we have that little gaming zone, where we talk about, gaming tech and stuff like that. And one of the things that jumped out is that Nintendo announced that they announced a couple of days ago that they are not going to host a keynote at E3. They plan to. They have plans. They plan small but focused hands-on events instead. So they're going to be at E3, but they're not going to have. I mean, normally at E3, you have the 3 big companies. They have keynote addresses. Matter of fact, each will even sometimes have their own day. Nintendo might start on day 1. Then you have Sony, and then you have Microsoft. But this year, Nintendo, because they already came out with the Wii U, Nintendo said they're not going to host a keynote address at E3. They say people have been wondering just how Nintendo keynote was going to outshine the launch of the 2 competitors' consoles. People were wondering what Nintendo was going to do, but it turns out they won't, because during Nintendo's Japanese financial results briefing, the company president revealed that the company wouldn't be hosting a keynote at E3. They say, we've decided not to host a large-scale presentation targeted at everyone in the international audience where we announce new information as we did in the past. He explained, instead at E3, we're planning to host a few smaller events that are specifically focused on our software lineup for the US market. Nintendo will be hosting 2 events, actually. One for distributors and another for the media. But the company president won't be speaking at either. Normally, when you're dealing with these keynotes, the presidents or the CEOs are the ones that comes out and address all the different, they come out and tell, the people what they're going to do for the year. And in lieu of the traditional keynote live stream, Nintendo will be releasing Nintendo Direct streams to deliver region-specific news to the Japanese and overseas fans. So I mean, yeah, that's a bold move. Probably even dangerous for the Japanese started company. Why? Because now you're not even bringing eyes onto your Wii U platform. By doing it small scale. I understand they may not have anything big to announce, but I mean, to not even really have a major presence when the Wii U isn't really doing so well, that's a dangerous move. Is it going to work for Nintendo, having small targeted things. Is that going to work? We have to wait and see. But I mean, it seems like a dangerous move, because when you look at what Sony and Microsoft is obviously doing, you know, Sony already released some details on their PS4. Microsoft is coming out with their announcement May 21st. But for Nintendo to just say, you know what, we're just not gonna have, you know, we're not gonna have anything there. Nothing big anyway. They're planning on these small planned focus events. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right move. We have to wait and see. Obviously, if it works, then it's the right move, and if it doesn't work, it's the wrong move. You know, that's how people always do it. But I think that with the Wii U not doing well, you want to bring as much attention to it as possible. You know what I'm saying? You want to let don't let Sony and Microsoft outshine you to the point where people forget about Wii U. So that's why I think that that's a dangerous move by Nintendo not to even have I mean, right now they may not have a console launch, but what they should have been working on is A-list titles. Like I was saying yesterday, they needed to work on A-list titles so that when they go to E3, when they go to E3, they're able to say, you know what? Okay, we don't have a console coming out because we already have a console, but here are the killer games that we have coming for this console. Here are the killer games we have. Okay, and that's really, in my opinion, what Nintendo should be doing at E3. Focusing not on the console, because obviously their console is out already. And they can't stop Sony and Microsoft from focusing on their consoles. But in the end, gamers are not really interested in consoles. It's been proven time and time again that it's not consoles that win the gaming wars. It's software that wins the gaming wars. So it doesn't matter that Sony come out with the PS4 and it can render 80 billion polygons per second, you know, and Microsoft's this, that, none of that matters. If Nintendo could have a keynote address showing killer apps, killer software titles coming for the Wii U, keep the pressure on by saying, look, okay, we're not introducing a system. You got it already. But now we're introducing the second phase of what we envisioned Wii U to be. That's what I expected Nintendo to do at E3. I never expected them to obviously talk about their console necessarily, because that's out. But now to hear that they're not even going to have a presence, you know, at a major presence at E3, just going to do smaller events, I don't know. That might be that's kind of dicey right there. We again, these things these news stories hot off the press. We just gonna have to wait and see what you know, how this thing is gonna work out. And speaking of Nintendo, they're not gonna have that. But now the Wii U 3.0 update, for those of you, speaking of the Wii U 3.0 update is gonna be released with speed increase and a lot more. Now, if you've been waiting patiently for the Wii U 3.0 update to arrive, and we're hoping that this is not another 5 gigabyte download like they did before, but you know, we're waiting for that 3.0 update to arrive, bringing added speed to the console's menu and navigation structure. Your prayers have been answered, because Nintendo has released the update. They've rolled it out, and it's available to download. So I'm sure many of you who have updated or turned on your Wii U and you are ready to update, the latest Wii U 3.0 update brings with it a number of new features, including a new standby function to download and install software while the system is powered off. So, you know, when it's off, the downloads will be in a standby. So when you turn it on, it's ready. You know, an automatic background installation of eShop downloads and stuff like that. A welcome speed boost within the Wii U 3.0 update can be seen when you know, in your navigation and stuff like that, in your navigation menus. And basically, the Wii U 3.0 is now available over there and includes improvements such as, you're going to run through quickly a list of a couple of it. The standby function, like we told you, to download software while the system is powered off. Software purchased from Nintendo eShop will automatically install in the background once the download completes. And then holding down the B button while the Wii U logo is displayed during startup will load the Wii U menu. Now, changes to the system settings, an option to transfer and or copy between USB storage devices and data management. You're going to be able to do that. To facilitate this feature, you'll now be able to connect two USB storage devices to a single Wii U console. The ability to select multiple software titles when transferring and copying, deleting data in the data management. The option to adjust screen size is now available. Under the TV, the auto power down has been renamed. I think they say power settings. Options for the standby function are located within the menu. I mean, there's changes to the Mi universe, such as, added support for the Wii Remote, Wii U Pro Controller, Classic Controller. Handwritten posts will now be displayed on the TV screen during creation. Undo and redo buttons are now available. So a lot of stuff is coming with this update. A lot of stuff is coming with this update, man. So, yeah, if you've been waiting for this Wii U 3.0 update, matter of fact, we have a little video that we're going to show this update. Just a little bit of the speed, that the update is supposed to bring, with it. So if you've been waiting for that Wii U update, it has arrived. And, for those of you that have already, maybe you haven't turned on your Wii consoles in a while because you haven't played it, but the update is there. You turn that bad boy on and the Wii U will start to update. It's available now for download. So let's show you a little bit quick. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's show you, the before. It's going to show you, the split screen with the Wii U. As you see right there, that's the Wii U controller, the Pro controller. We have the before, the 3.0 on the left, obviously. And then, let's see if we can enlarge that. Okay, so you see before right here, and then after. So they're going to show you, the speed that's coming with this 3.0 update. All right, let's play that and see what we have here.
Is there volume on?
Wait. Looks like the volume may be down again. Let me make sure, because definitely want to hear and see what's going on. No, volume is good on my end.
Okay.
Volume is up to the max on my end. Good to go. Okay, so we're gonna start that again. Alright, so it's not a long presentation here, probably a minute or so. So just to give you, like I say, a snippet, a little idea. Alright, so guess we're ready. Let's go ahead and play it. Okay, it's playing. Maybe there's no sound yet. There you go. Yeah. All right. Yeah, sound is good. Sound is good. See, with 3.0, it's loaded already. Regular one, you see it's still trying to load. See, so there you go, cutting out a lot of time, because I mean, I'll tell you, that's one of the frustrations that I had with the Wii U. That when you're trying to switch, or when you're trying to get into those different menus, and it just takes forever. So that to me, that along with all those other updates, that's just to show you real quickly, just the speed boost you're gonna get with the 3.0 firmware update. And I'm telling you, for me personally, that right there is huge. So I can't wait to see, and I'm probably gonna update it this weekend, and then let everybody know, what the verdict was. Saying as far as how things went and so forth. Because I mean, this is this is huge. You know, this is huge for Wii U. But what I was saying is Nintendo is coming out with these updates and they're doing things, but they need killer apps. And if they would do that at E3, I think that Nintendo would have a shot. Definitely have a shot at taking some of the thunder from the PS3 and Xbox. Now we're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to talk about something that we here again at Pulse Media, as we've said in times past, we have been promoting, and that is an event coming up in June 6th actually, put on by Unique Creations by Liz. Now, if you don't know Unique Creations by Liz, this company is a event planning company. She plans events, you know, anything from weddings, birthdays, you know, graduations, any kind of event you're having, she can plan. And Unique Creations by Liz, her company can plan. And this is just, again, just some of the things that she has done. You know, so just look at these pictures, just some of the events that she's been a part of, and I mean, it's just, you know, beautiful the way she has decorated, and just shows you the level of quality that her company is dealing with. And the exhibition she's putting on is called Expressions Caribbean American Exhibition. That's the function that she's sponsoring. Here, this is an exhibition where you can promote your products and services. So if you're a business and you're looking to get more awareness to your business, you want people to know more about what you offer, the things that you offer, call Unique Creations by Liz, and she can get you a table at this event. The number to call her is 954-292-6848 and 954-435-4717. You call her, she can get you a table at this event. There's going to be hundreds of people there, other businesses. This event is going to be streamed to between 15 and 20,000 people. So you're going to get your message out there. Pulse E-Media, we're going to be covering it. We're going to be doing the streaming. And the event is Thursday, June 6th from 5 to 9 p.m. Networking with the businesses is between 4 and 5. It's going to be held at the Inverary Vacation Resort. That's 3501 Inverary Boulevard, Lauderhill, Florida, 33319. There's going to be a great music, reggae, soca, R&B, you know, some of the oldies. Randy Corinthian, a great saxophonist, is going to be there. We're going to have the Sons of Maestro, that's a violin duo, top notch. There's going to be a chance to win a weekend getaway at the Renaissance Hotel. Several dinners for two. I mean, baskets with Caribbean products, gift certificates, raffles, great giveaways, fantastic show offers. I mean, parking is free, admission is free. All you got to bring is a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's the attitude to have a good time. That's all you got to bring. That and your business ideas and networking. I mean, this is going to be a fun. This is the 4th annual multicultural showcase that is being put on by Unique Creations. And if you have a desire to increase your business, I'm telling you, this expo, you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it. So if you want to check out her website, it's uniquecreationsbyliz.com. That's uniquecreationsbyliz.com. And that number again is 954-292-6848. Give her a call and let her know you want to be a part of this Caribbean American exhibition, and tell her you heard about it right here on Tech Pulse. All right, so we're back once again. You know that you got to take that break. You got to take that break and come back, and now we're ready to continue talking about the top tech news of the day. Now we're still talking about the gaming zone. We're still in that gaming zone. I know a number of you are like, man, you know, is he done with the gaming zone? No, I'm not done. You know, yesterday we talked about XCOM. Remember we talked about that? And it finally came for the Mac. You know, Mac people who have the Apple machines, you know, you've been left out. You know, you were left out. You didn't really have XCOM coming to your system, but yesterday Apple finally released that version, so now you're right up, in front of everybody. But now, fans of the series, I remember this thing was released back in 1993, way back. People just love this game. I mean, it just exploded. And yesterday we talked about that XCOM Enemy Unknown, and you saw a little bit of that arrived on the Mac. You saw a little bit of it, and you were like, man, this game is good. Well, you're going to be pleased to know that 2K, that's the company responsible for XCOM, they have finally officially announced a mysterious XCOM first-person shooter. Now, I know you like XCOM first-person shooter. And it's called the Bureau XCOM, declassified. That was first announced way back in 2010. And we got a trailer to show you that this is what they released. This is going to be a first-person shooter coming out. It's called the Bureau XCOM Declassified. Basically, just so you get a gist before we show you the story, tells XCOM's mysterious beginnings. And they said that they are expanding the universe with a declassified tale of government conspiracy, heroic cover-ups told through third-person tactical gameplay. According to a spokesperson there, they said that the Bureau XCOM Declassified team has been working hard to leverage core XCOM elements like tactical decision-making, permanent death of squad mates. So remember, your squad mates die, they don't respawn and come back, in a later permanent death of squad mates. Make a purposeful way to make this unique tactical shooter. To that end, the Bureau will challenge players, unlike other third-person tactical shooters that, when your comrade dies, you give them a power-up on the field, and they can respawn, or maybe they come back in the next scene or something like that. Now, they're saying Declassified will arrive on 360, PlayStation 3, and PC this August. Matter of fact, August 20th, 2013, this year. That's when it's coming out. So this adds a different dynamic, because when you're going through the game, you can't just go wild, guns are blazing. You got to plan your strategy, because when your squad mates die, that's it. It's not, unless, you didn't save the game or something like that. But other than that, when they die, that's that. So we're going to play you a trailer right here of the new game, XCOM, the Bureau Declassified. This is going to come out in August 20th, and it's a first-person tactical shooter, third-person perspective. So let's go ahead and see what 2K Games, what they got to offer. Because I know you're saying, man, this thing is just, yesterday, the Mac people got this, and now you're telling us this thing is coming out in the 360. Man, you're just keeping us up to date on everything. Well, that's what we do here on Tech Pulse. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's sound is good. We know sound is good. Here we go. You're seeing this right here.
Tell me who's dancing in your garden. I wanna know. Don't lie to me.
cover-ups, things that the government do long time not showing this. If this little clip is any indication that of what it's going to be as far as storyline, because if there's one thing I like in a game, you know what I'm saying, I like graphics, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but storyline is something that, you know, it's just once if you can get into a good immersive story when playing a game, you know the game is high quality. And this right here looks like this is going to be a good game. This looks like it's going to be very, you know, and then you have to figure out what the government is doing.
But the graphics was not the game itself, right?
No, this
What we
wasn't.
saw was
This
just a story.
this is just a story behind. This isn't graphics. Yeah, that's just a story.
I was like, wow.
You didn't know graphics could look that real, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, that's not graphics.
I'm ready for that.
If that's the graphics, huh?
I'm in.
Nah, that was just the story behind the game, you know. And I'm sure this little snippet might even be in the actual game. They might put that in the game as a cutscene or something like that. But anything that brings me in, like right there, right away you're gripped. You're like, well, what's happening? Yeah, right away you're gripped. You know, that's the type of storyline we're talking about. So, for those of you XCOM fans, you know what I'm saying, like me, this thing is coming out. This thing is coming out for a the 360, PS3, and PC August 20th. So keep your eyes tuned to that. Now we have another cool device. You know, we like to bring you little cool devices here on Tech Pulse. I know many of you have many different devices. You know, you have a tablet, you know, you have a phone, you probably have an iPod, iPad, you know, that whole combination of things. And a lot of times you use, or maybe you have two phones. Maybe you have two phones, you know, an iPad, or two phones and a tablet, you know, and, you know, a lot of times we use these things simultaneously, and, you know, they run down simultaneously. Then you have to go into your back home, into your drawer of cords, you know what I'm saying, where you have to find the cord for each one, and they're probably all tangled up together, you know, trying to get one out to charge, and you got to get another one out to charge, and all this type of thing. Well, no more, because the Helix portable battery pack is here. It charges 3 devices at once. Now, if you're someone who travels with your gadgets all the time, and you have several gadgets that all charge from a USB port, and you need extra runtime, the Lamar Helix might be something you're interested in. We're going to show you a copy of it right here. The device is a portable battery pack that features an internal, get this, an internal 11,000 milliamp, not 2,500, not 5,200, you know what I'm saying, or even, you know what I'm saying, or even 5,000 milliamp. No, this thing is an 11,000 milliamp rechargeable battery. It also features 3 USB ports, allowing you to charge 3 devices at one time. So one of those USB ports has an output of 2.4 amps, making it suitable for charging tablets, iPads, you know, heavy stuff like that. And the other 2 USB ports are standard, you know, 1 amp outputs for smartphones, you know, iPods or stuff like that. The battery pack has an LED indicator in the front to show how much power is left, and it recharges via the included micro USB, so you can charge it up. The battery pack also has a dedicated on-off button, and the manufacturer of this promises that the battery can help your smartphone run up to 7 times longer. So, you know, if you're getting a day, out of your smartphone, this battery pack can help your phone run up to 7 days. You know what I'm saying? 7 days longer, because this thing is on the go. You can carry this with you. Once this thing is charged up, you can carry this thing with you and get power on the go. You don't have to be back home. You charge it up, you know what I'm saying, and charge your devices with it. That's why it has that 1100 milliamp rechargeable battery. Once this thing is charged up, You carry this thing with you, and it's able to charge up 3 devices at once. You know what I'm saying? 3 devices at once. So can you imagine that? You're able to run, so let's say you're on a business trip, or for some reason you're home and you forget to recharge your phone and whatnot. You have this thing charged up. This gives you the extra time you need, because up to 7 times, if you're getting 1 day full usage out of your phone, this thing can give you 7 days of usage without having to come back home to recharge it, because it's going to charge it, and the cost of it is just $99. Let me show you this battery pack real quick. I mean, you might look at it and you say, well, you know, I don't know if I need that. Yeah, you don't know if you need it until you're out of the house and, you know, your phone is dead. You know, how many times has that happened to us, where you're going somewhere, you know, and you're out and your phone is dead, you know, and you didn't bring your charger with you. And even if you did, finding a place where you can plug in is not always easy. You're not always going to be able to find a place to plug in. Now, there right there, you see, this is the unit right here. Sorry, this is the unit right here. And you can charge up, as you can see, 3 devices, an iPad, you know what I'm saying, 2 phones, or you know, something like that. And
I need 2.
Yep. I'm gonna say he needs 2 of those bad boys. You know, but I mean, this thing is phenomenal. An 1100 milliamp rechargeable battery. You charge this bad boy up. You know, you carry this around with you. You don't have to worry about if your phone dies. This thing will keep that thing charged up, make that thing last 7 times longer. If you have multiple devices, up to 3 of them that you carry around with you, and oh man, my iPad is dying, boom. You don't have to worry about, well, where can I plug in? Where can I this? You know, because sometimes you go to a place and there's nowhere to plug in, you know, and your battery is running low and you don't have any, you know, you just have to shut it off and say, oh, well, I guess I just can't use it. But this thing will give you the battery power you're looking for and can charge a single device. They're promising it can make your device last 7 times longer. Now, obviously, that depends on the size of the device. They're giving you the maximum. If you're charging up an iPad, obviously that's going to be different than charging your phone. So you're not going to get the same number of charges with the iPad as you would a phone. But if I can get 3 uses of my iPad, in other words, from full charge to full discharge, you know what I'm saying, 3 times with this pack without having to plug it into a wall, this thing is worth it. At $99, I mean, this thing is worth it right here. And you can find that bad boy, you know what I'm saying, on the website of, what's the name of the company again? Helix. Lamar Helix. They're the ones that make this thing. Or, you know what I'm saying, you check your local Best Buy and things like that. They carry products like this. But if you're looking for something, remember the Lamar Helix battery pack. That's what it's called. Lamar Helix portable battery pack. This thing is worth it, man. $99, this is worth it. You have multiple devices. Even if you just have 1 phone, you don't have multiple devices. All you got is 1 phone. This thing is worth it. Why? Because it's worth it just the fact that you don't have to carry your cord around. If you forget to charge it when you come home, because sometimes that happens to me. I go home and I'm like, okay, I need to charge my phone. Put my phone down, get involved in something else, and before I know, I wake up, my phone got 1 battery, and I'm leaving the house in 5 minutes, so there's no time to charge it then. You know, but I know I need the phone, but you have this charged up. Telling you, man, that's all you need. You know, that's all you need right there. And here is another. Now, on Tech Pulse, we don't always just want to show you devices that are out, but we also want to show you devices that are coming out, devices that are in prototype type situations. And we have something like that for you right here. It's called the Pro Scope. Let me see. No, it's a Snap Zoom. I think that's what it is. A Snap Zoom smartphone scope adapter. Yeah, that's I think what they call it. And this thing is basically right now it's in a Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter, right? And these guys, you know, have come up with a way to where you're able to use regular pairs of binoculars or telescope or anything like that. You can attach your phone to binocular. I mean, how many times, let's say you're looking across a lake and you like the view. You're like, man, I'd like to record that, but you're looking through a binoculars. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do anything about it. These guys,
to me every day.
Yeah. These guys came up with a product that they put on Kickstarter, and then they have a video to show those of you who want to get involved in their product that allows you to snap on your smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or Samsung Galaxy S, whatever, snap it onto the binoculars so it can see what you're looking at, and you can record it right on your phone. So you can zoom that bad boy in. If it's a telescope, say you want to look at the moon, and you, oh man, that looks good. You want to record that and record
That's really
it.
cool.
That's cool, and we're about to show you that right now. But it's not out. They're they're looking for funding. It's on Kickstarter, and I thought that this product is just too cool. You know what I mean? To allow you the ability to hook any smartphone, not just Apple phone or something like that. No, any smartphone. Here it is right there, and you're gonna see more. So don't despair if you're looking at it and you're going, man, I can't see a thing. You see, that's the unit right here. You know what I'm saying? And let's scroll down here a bit. Here's the unit. This is what it looks like. This right here is the binoculars or whatnot. So that's the unit. Doesn't look like that. The unit is this thing here that snaps on to the binoculars, and it allows your phone to see through the binoculars so you can record what you're seeing. Here's the unit right here. This is all it is right here. You see? And it's on they have a video right here that we're going to play that shows you, it tells you all about this product. So let me give you a few features of it before we play that video, just so you kind of know what's going on with it and stuff like that. I mean, basically, if you're looking to record footage or take photographs with your smartphone through a binoculars or a telescope, like I said, this snap zoom is what they call it, might be worth your time and money. It's a universal smartphone adapter that has been designed to make it easy for you to attach your smartphone to any binoculars, scope, eyepiece, whatever it is. You see, and in the video you're going to see, it shows you practical uses of this thing. I think one guy said the device simply connects and aligns your smartphone camera with the eyepiece of the optical scope. The scope then becomes an accessory lens for your camera, zoom and whatnot. And the image is magnified, obviously, by the power of the zoom power. And for example, if you have an iPhone 5 camera equivalent to a 33 millimeter lens field of view, adding the snap zoom to an average 10 power, 10x power binoculars, you can get the image to a 330 millimeter lens quality field of view.
I misunderstood, or I'm not clear on it. It attaches to the eyepiece of the phone,
It attaches the phone and positions the eyepiece to fit right over the binoculars, the opening of the binoculars, the eye, or you see what I'm saying? So it fits onto the phone. It snaps the phone in, and then positions the eyepiece so that when you snap it on the binoculars, the eyepiece is looking through the binoculars. You know what I'm saying? So getting that zone. Matter of fact, we're going to show you what it is right here. So rather than just trying to explain it verbally, let's look at this thing, because these guys came up with a video kind of showing you, if you get behind them on Kickstarter, what you can expect. So let's go ahead and look at that right now, because that's the unit right there. Let's go ahead and look at this video here real quick. Okay, let's go. See, hopefully the sound is good. Yep.
Aloha Kickstarter, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Mac, and we are the inventors of SnapZoom, the universal smartphone scope adapter.
Mac is my good friend and brother-in-law. We live in Hawaii and share a passion for surfing and photography. About a year ago, we got the idea of using a pair of binoculars as a telephoto lens for our smartphones. We were amazed with the quality of the photos and videos, but connecting our phones to the scope was pretty difficult. So we started making prototypes in my garage, and through trial and error, we came up with SnapZoom, the simple smartphone adapter that turns ordinary optical scopes into super telephoto lenses.
And that's what you can see with it through your iPhone. Before, you just saw a field. You didn't know that line was there.
We designed SnapZoom to be simple to use and to connect in seconds. It works with all major smartphones, with or without a case. compatible with all dual or single eyepiece scopes like binoculars, spotting scopes, telescopes, and microscopes. Snap Zoom has tons of applications, whether it's for your profession, capturing precious moments with loved ones,
And this is actual
observing
footage.
wildlife,
This is not just video they shot. This
or
is actual
sharing the
footage
wonders
that
of
they
the night
shot
sky.
using their iPhone and the system.
That's nifty little.
Yeah. See, you're just seeing a beach. Now you're seeing that. And that's true. This is what you would be looking at.
Mac and I
on your
worked
phone.
so hard to make Snap Zoom simple and easy to use. It's a tool that will help everyone take incredible photos and videos. Even using a very inexpensive pair of binoculars, you can take a really fantastic shot. We are currently finished with the design phase and have lined up qualified manufacturers in the US and overseas. But the initial cost to produce Snap Zoom with the quality and the materials that we think it deserves is expensive.
And that's why we need your help, Kickstarter. We need capital to fund the initial production costs so we can bring this fantastic product to market. We're excited about Snap Zoom, and we thank you for checking out our product.
There you go. So if you're out there and you're saying, man, I'm looking for something to invest in, head over to Kickstarter, look up Snap Zoom, and you can help get this project off the ground. I mean, just looking at the implications of it. I mean, Devin, what do you think? I mean, you see the video that they released, and whatnot. I mean, is this a good idea? Is this something that has a shot of being anything?
I'm heading over to to Kickstarter right now to put my $2 because this is really a good product.
And
I
it
like
shows, yeah, I like it. It shows the innovation, that, I mean, big companies don't always think of things like this. You have two guys who, they're looking for something, you know what I'm saying, and it's not there. Just like when we were looking for the ATEM trial video, it's not there,
Nothing.
Nothing there. So these guys are onto something, and I think this product is going to, this is going to be funded. I think people are going to jump on it, and it gives our audience a chance that if you want something that you can be a part of, you want to help bring something. And see, this is the beauty of Kickstarter.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand what Kickstarter is, and I'll explain it here real quick. Kickstarter is a platform that allows regular people to bring their inventions to a place where they can get funding. They put it on Kickstarter, and then they tell you a little bit about it, and sometimes they'll offer you different things. Like on his, he might say that if you pledge $100, you're going to get the Snap Zoom kit with a lifetime supply of upgrades, whatever. He will decide what they want to do. You can bid anything. When I say bid, you can donate anything to the cause, and they'll have amount of days that they have to reach their goal. So their goal, they'll know that, let's say they need $20,000 to really get this thing going. So that'll be their set target, and they'll have it up there for 30 days. And in that 30 days, if they don't gain the 20,000, they can, put it back up, or they can do different things like that. But most of the times, the Kickstarter projects that go exceed the funding that they need, especially if it's something that's good. And this is what's good about Kickstarter. I mean, Kickstarter allows regular people to get funding from regular people. You see, the regular man can look at something and say, you know what? I want to support this guy. This guy has something, I want to support. And you can put your money towards supporting them, help bring a product to market. How many times can, you say that you help bring a product to market? The old year gaming system was a Kickstarter project, and it's coming to market. The gaming stick is a Kickstarter project, and it's coming to market. You see, there's a lot of things that have been on Kickstarter that have come to market, and you can say that you are a part of that. Leap is coming out. You see what I'm saying? And you can be a part, the Leap Motion, you can be a part of helping bring a product to market, you see? And not many times we can do that. A lot of times we just have to wait for big companies, big business to decide when to roll out whatever they're going to roll out, and we're not a part of it. We just, once it comes out, we buy it, don't buy it. But we have a chance with Kickstarter. The regular man has a chance to bring a product out to launch, and this product right here, I'm telling you, man, this is something that we should all try to, get behind if you can, because I know, times are tough and whatnot, but if you can get behind something. As a matter of fact, if you're looking for something to invest in, Kickstarter is the place you want to go. And we're going to take another quick break right here and talk about something that we all need. That is healthy food, healthy living. If you want a place where you can go and get all the things that you need, all the things that you need for to be healthy, to be to feel good, so that when you give your children toothpaste, when you give them cleaning products, you don't have to worry that it's going to harm them or anything like that. At Ultimate Organics, over 11,000 products geared with the organic in mind. 100% natural organic material that is being used in these products, from food, baby food, makeup, lotions, snacks. You name it, they have it at Ultimate Organics. So run over to ultimateorganics.net and order, anything from their selection of 11,000 items. Let them know that you heard about them right here.
Through the grapevine.
Oh yeah, through the grapevine right here on Tech Pulse. That's ultimateorganics.net. Let them know. Say, yo, I heard of you on Tech Pulse. And we'd like to thank them for their support of Tech Pulse. Now we're back once again. And right back in the news, we were talking about our security alert earlier and stuff like that. And remember, there was remember earlier in the week we talked about CISPA, that bill that was being put in by the government, and what that was doing, CISPA, was that bill would allow the government to be able to get your personal information whether you wanted to give it or not. And so if they went to a company like Google, they could get your information from Google, and Google didn't even have to tell you. Because the government asked for it. Well, it came out that CNET reported Wednesday that that senior Obama administrative officials have secretly authorized the interception of communication carried on portions of networks operated by AT&T and other internet service providers, a practice that might otherwise be illegal under federal wiretapping laws. The Justice Department had been granting immunity to service providers through a special 2511 letters that absolve carriers in the event that surveillance is found to run afoul of federal law. And as such, this law is secretly enabling AT&T and others to evade wiretapping laws so that government can conduct surveillance on parts of its network. So we see that, right away, AT&T is now becoming, one of the people that, according to this, is saying that the government is giving AT&T and others immunity from the wiretapping laws. They can now just go in. They don't have to abide by the wiretapping laws right now. So things are starting to get to a point where you just don't know what information is going to be shared, what information is going to be, and that's what CISPA, and that's why they had that protest on Monday against to not shut down the internet. But as many people as possible don't use the internet because they wanted to show that their displeasure in this bill being passed, so that government can just, ask for records, ask for stuff like that, and people have to do it. And they said AT&T is thus far the only named service provider to have received a 2511 immunity letter, but other telecom firms are believed to also have received the immunity letter. and that won't be the first time, as pointed out by The Verge. And AT&T was given a retroactive immunity for their role in NSA surveillance program after the once illegal domestic spying practices set in motion under the Bush administration were codified into law under the FISA Amendment Act of 2008. You see, so the law was passed 2 years after AT&T technician Mark Klein revealed evidence that the telecom had cooperated with the NSA installing routing equipment inside a secret room at a network hub in San Francisco. So, you know, this is just stuff that we want you to be aware of that's happening. There is a battle going on right now in the government for them being able to get information without you knowing it. There's that battle going on, and you know, saying it's good for us to be aware, because we need to understand the more information we put out there, the more chance, especially when you have this era of terrorism and things like that, you know, especially there's going to be times when the government says they feel it's necessary for them to obtain information about you, or obtain information about a group of people, or people that live in this area. Or they might say, well, we want, you know, all the people that live in Coral Springs, we need their data information from Google. Boom. And Google just has to give it to them, and you don't even know. The government is sifting through your data. You might say, well, hey, the government already sifts through my data. No, there are laws to protect us from the government just being able to take your data and rummage through it however they feel. They would normally need a search warrant, because that's your personal information. And when you share your personal information, say with Google or with Twitter, that's why they have privacy laws that say they will not share your data with anybody. Anybody includes the government. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why these things were in place, so that you can feel more comfortable signing up for certain services and things like that. But there is this internal war going on, you know what I'm saying, in the government, not necessarily internal, but in the government and with private agency. There is this war going on that many people don't know about. You know, we know about the wars in Iraq and stuff like that, but we don't know about the digital war that's being fought that has to do with the safety and usage of your information. There's a war being fought back and forth, you see, and what side will come out victorious? We don't know, you see. We don't know. We just have to wait and see. But this is just something that we're letting you know exists, you know what I'm saying, out there. So if you know, I mean, if this is something that you're interested in, I think personally, you know what I'm saying, we all should be interested in the fact of knowing that there's a possibility that your information could be in the hands of the government right now, information that they don't necessarily have. Because we tend to think, well, the government knows all about you anyway, but not necessarily. There are things that the government doesn't have on you that they get from other sources. They can get information, you see, but that doesn't mean they always have that information. And the question is, do I want the government having all the information about me and different things like that? Well, that's what these acts like CISPA, you know what I'm saying, are aiming to do, you know. So when we hear stuff like this, and a matter of fact, according to a executive director, Mark Rottenberg, he said the authorization program has a narrow cybersecurity effort to monitor government defense contractors, but has been expanded to cover critical infrastructure like energy, finance, and healthcare. Healthcare that was reported by CNET. Normally, the Wiretap Act prohibits such eavesdropping unless it's necessary to the functioning of the service, or unless the user gives his or her consent to be monitored. You see, that's what these laws were put in place to do. You would have to give your consent to be monitored, or you voluntarily give up your information and whatnot. And with this type of immunity act going on, he's saying that the alarm bells should be going off. We should be realizing that, you know, this is just, you know, one of those things that you have to be aware. You can't do anything about it if you don't know about it. So now that, you know about these things, these are things that we have to be aware and watch closely to see where this thing continues to go, you know, as time goes on. Now we talked about the deals that Apple made and the deals that Google made with different things. And one of the things that's becoming a common story now is what Yahoo is doing. I mean, Yahoo promised us that they were going to come up. Marissa Mayer said she was going to start moving things along to make, to bring out products for Yahoo. And, every day now it seems like Marissa Mayer is doing something else. And according to a report here by The Verge, Yahoo signed an exclusive deal for Saturday Night Live back catalog. According to they said that the Saturday Night Live is coming to Yahoo. CEO Marissa Mayer announced yesterday that the show's entire 38-year back catalog will be available through Yahoo thanks to a new exclusive deal with Broadway Video. Now remember, Yahoo is they bought Daily Motion a while back. Video service just like Google has YouTube, and Yahoo now has Daily Motion. And this would fit right in there. The content includes dress rehearsal footage, other extras, and will be available across Yahoo sites beginning September 1st, according to Yahoo. The terms of the deal state that Saturday Night Live's archives will be pulled from other streaming devices. So if you watched it on, say, Hulu, if you watch Saturday Night Live on Netflix, you're not going to be able to get them there. Yahoo signed an exclusive deal. Now, Saturday Night Live, I don't know how popular that is. I mean, it's been on for, what they say, 38 years. That thing it just won't end. So clearly there must be some numbers to justify it being on so long. I'm not really a fan of Saturday Night Live, but the mere fact that Yahoo was able to snag exclusive rights to the 38-year history of Saturday Night Live, so much so that it's going to be pulled from Hulu and Netflix for 1 year, and Yahoo will get non-exclusive distribution rights to show clips outside the U.S. You see, and Yahoo has been on a roll lately, like acquiring new talent and disposing of old products that didn't work. And as management tries to reinvent the company, last week the company launched, the new weather app for mobile devices, along with its new iPhone app that integrates Sumly with Siri and stuff like that. I mean, Yahoo is making moves. Yahoo is making moves, and we have to see what they're going to do with this entire Saturday Night Live. Are they going to put it up on Daily Motion? How are they going to use this to draw in people? Clearly, there's a fan base for it. You see, clearly there's a fan base for it, and Yahoo seems to be making a lot of moves right now to position themselves to compete with Google, to compete with Apple and the big boys like that. It seems like they're with Amazon rumored to be coming out with a smartphone and all this type of stuff. Yahoo seems to be trying to build their brand again, build their brand back to what it used to be back in the days when Yahoo was a powerful, was the name you went to when you talked about search engines and stuff like that. So we got to see if Marissa Mayer can continue her streak. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, she's been making one right move after another. Seems like it, over the time. So we got to see if she continues, her streak and continues to really impress. And speaking of what we're talking about with Apple and so forth, as many of you know, Apple has what is called WWDC, and that is the Worldwide Developers Conference, and they have that every year. It comes out, I think, around June-ish, that type of time. That's when WWDC is really right after, I think, right after E3, is when WWDC, or right before E3, something like that. I think sometime in May is when WWDC happens, and the tickets for Apple's WWDC, it went on sale and then went off sale in under 2 minutes. They said in 2012 it took them 2 hours to sell out the tickets for WWDC. This year Literally, it took 2 minutes to sell out all their tickets. Tickets, according to a report, went on sale. It went on sale 10 a.m. What is it? Thursday, I think it was 10 a.m. Thursday. It went on sale, and Pacific time, obviously, and 1 p.m. Eastern, and it sold out in record time in just under 2 minutes. Tickets for the developers focused event in San Francisco, which features presentations and one-on-one time with Apple's own in-home in-home engineers. Sold out in 2 hours in 2012, and in under 12 hours in 2011. 8 days it took in 2010. So you see how it's going. In 2010 it took 8 days to sell it out. In 2011 it took 12 hours to sell it out, and in 2012 it took 2 hours to sell it out, and now in 2013 it took just under 2 minutes to sell out. Apple tickets sold out 95% faster than Google tickets for its own annual I/O Developers Conference, which is taking place May 15th this year, and which took 49 minutes to sell out. The I/O 2012 took 30 minutes to sell out, but WWDC marks the first time Apple will be making a conference video available during the conference itself. So instead of after the event, normally they wait till after the event to do these things, but they're going to have a video conference available during the event. And that should alleviate some of the need of actually being there on the grounds for registered Apple developers who want to take advantage, of the session. So this year marks the first time Apple has provided advance notice regarding tickets, when tickets would go on sale, and stuff like that, which almost definitely contributed to the faster than usual sellout, because Apple normally doesn't tell you when the tickets are going on sale. You just kind of hear down the pipeline that it's on sale, and they weren't really focused on that. This year they let people know, and boom, the tickets sell out. So the quick sellout is made more impressive by the fact that sales of the $1,599 tickets were limited to just one person. That each ticket cost $1,600. That's how much these tickets cost. $1,600, and it was limited to one person per one person. And if you're an individual, it's one person. If you're an organization, then it's 5. So let's say I'm Best Buy or whatever, and I want to send people there. I'm a big organization, so they're only going to let me send 5 people. If I'm just a regular person myself, an independent developer, I can't carry me and my friend. I can only carry myself. So Apple really limited how many people could buy these tickets, and at $1,600, it's still sold out. So during a previous keynote, former Steve Jobs, when he was around, said that there were over 5,000 attendees at the show, which means that Apple potentially just made as much as $8 million in 90 seconds. I mean, come on, can you believe that? In just under 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes, Apple probably made about $8 million, because at $1,600 per ticket. And if there's 5,000 attendees at this thing, you're talking massive bucks right there. And Apple's developer economy is now a massive industry, and they have paid out $9 billion in total to developers at a rate now of around $1 billion per quarter. You see, so Apple is no stranger to hiring good talent, but just the fact that this thing sold out, to me, was news in itself. So those of you who know about WWDC or were interested in covering or watching WWDC this year, I mean, that thing sold out quick. Under 2 minutes, that thing had sold out. So that's impressive. What I'm saying? Apple just, say what you want about Apple, but they just seem to know how to get people to just shell money right out. They seem to have a knack for knowing how to do that. So that's just a story I thought you know what I'm saying, I would bring to the masses, because it's just simply, that's just incredible right there. Now, here is another product that I think is a good, and we have some video on it. This is a good product for people that use a lot of wireless Bluetooth enabled things. The Virtus wireless Bluetooth stereo adapters, you know, launched. Now, Virtus Audio has launched a new pair of Bluetooth stereo adapters over the Kickstarter crowd. Remember we talked about Kickstarter, you know, and they got funding, and they've been able to design and send audio to 2 Bluetooth or portable speakers at the same time, wirelessly, using CSR's True Wireless Stereo technology. You see, so the system consists of 2 specialized Bluetooth receivers, one for each speaker, left and right, and you know, you can send it wirelessly instead of you know, having wires tethered, or only be able to send it to one speaker. You know, despite its thin design, Virtus has exceptional battery life. It lasts at least 10 hours. They say Virtus is smart. It doesn't need buttons. Tap twice and it will let you know how much battery is left by a blinking LED. Tap 3 times to pair it with your Bluetooth device. To keep the design simple, Virtus does not have any plug-ins for charging. It charges through the same 3.5 millimeter jack when plugged into a supplied charging station, which itself is powered by a standard micro USB port. We're going to show you this right here, man. This thing was over on Kickstarter, and now this thing has come to fruition. So we're going to show you how this Bluetooth wireless Bluetooth stereo adapter, we're going to show you how this thing works, man. According to Devin, we need that here at Pulse Media. So let me show you guys how this thing works, because I'm telling you, man, a lot of these things coming out on Kickstarter, a lot of these things are good, you know, and they're practical things that, you know, we all could use. So here we go. We're bringing up the video right now. Yep. Oh man, just lost the video. Okay, hold on. We're getting it back. Don't worry about it. We're getting it back. You're like, man, this guy is all over the place. Okay, let's go. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, good. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Here we go. Bam. Okay, now you can see. Now you can see. This is the system right here. Left and right speakers. Right here, you can hook this into a normal input, and this is the unit, you know, that syncs wirelessly. And here's the video as to how this thing really works.
From early days of Bluetooth speaker, there always have been the need to stream music not only to one speaker, but to stream music or movies or games to 2 speakers at the same time. This has been mostly because of that urge that you want to make your own little portable home theater system, or even spread the music throughout your parties. Many credible sources have stated that streaming audio to 2 Bluetooth speakers at the same time is not possible. Being an industrial designer, when I heard this, I needed to pursue a solution to this problem. And that's exactly what I did. After many days of research, I finally came across to a technology called True Wireless. Now, what this technology does is that it does let you stream audio from your Bluetooth device to any 2 portable speakers. The way it works is that it still acts like a single unit, but it needs 2 specialized Bluetooth receivers, one for the right speaker and one for the left speaker. You stream music from your Bluetooth device to the right receiver, the right receiver takes the right channel and relays the left channel to the left receiver. After working closely with my Bluetooth supplier, which is an amazing team of engineers, we were finally able to come up with the first working prototypes. Virtus is a great product, but to finish the last stages of the development and bring it to the market, we need your help. So please back us on Kickstarter. Let's get the word out there and make Virtus a reality. Thanks.
There you go. That's what we're talking about, man. We're bringing things to you firsthand. These are Kickstarter projects that you can be a part of. You know, I mean, you know, because a lot of times we want to be able to stream music, and you can only do it like to one speaker, or you have like a boom box and it's just one speaker cube or something like that. Now you can do it to two speakers, left and right channels, you see. So I mean, this thing is if you're looking, like we said, if you're looking to support to get back, you know, to back something, you see, this is definitely something that you might want to consider. You know, this is definitely something that you might want to consider. And you know, I mean, hey, you know, just take a look at it. You know, check it out. It doesn't mean that you have to support it, but we here at Tech Pulse believe that you should. You know, that these are innovations that's coming out that makes your life easier. It makes life more comfortable to live and stuff like that. Gives you opportunities that you wouldn't have before. You see, and so if you're a fan of that, if you believe this is something that, you know, you want to do, you know, then by all means, you know, back them up on Kickstarter. You know, go to Kickstarter, look at it, and say, okay, can I get you know, can I get some kind of you know, use out of this in the future? Is this something I'm going to use? And if it is something you feel you're going to use, go ahead and support it. And speaking of things we're going to use, you know, Sony unveiled their new waterproof camcorder. Now I know a lot of you, you know, especially here in Florida, we do a lot of things out by the beach, you know, a lot of things by your pool, all kind of, you know, a lot of water is involved in a lot of things that we do. So Sony came out with a cool waterproof camcorder. It's called the Sony HDR GW66VE. They said that this week that they added a new addition to their range of Handycam camcorders. If you know the Handycam series, you know, these camcorders that's really geared towards, you know, a lot of action, sports, you know, a lot of sports and fast action type camcorders, that the line that they have called Handycam. And they have the newly launched Sony HDR GW66VE. This new camcorder is designed to withstand, they say, being submerged to a depth of 10 meters for an hour. You know, and it's also fully dust and shock proof from a height of 1.5 meters. So, you know, this thing is fully dust and shock proof from that height, fully dust proof, and then shock proof from a height of 1.5 meters. They said Sony, this Sony camcorder can capture footage at a maximum resolution of 1080p at 50 frames per second. So this is geared towards high definition, fast moving. If you're someone who does, let's say, like snowboarding or swimming or cycling, you know, saying, or any kind of high energy, high fast situation, capturing basketball games or whatnot, not going to be a problem. You know, if you're using this for your child's soccer sports or anything, that's not going to be a problem, because at 50 frames a second, you're going to get smooth resolution. He said in a choice of, you have AVC HD, MPEG 2, or MP4 formats. That's how you can record the resolution. And it's also able to take 20 megapixel still photographs when required. 20 megapixels. So, I mean, you're going to get sharp images with this thing. The Sony HD GW66VE is equipped with a f1.8 to 3.4 G lens and a 4.6 millimeter black illuminated Cosmos sensor, and it'll be available this June. That's when it's coming out. No information. Sony didn't say how the pricing was gonna look, but they have a few colors: a blue, a black, and a silver. So I'm gonna show you pictures of this handy cam right here. And from what I'm seeing, and from what the reports that we read on this thing, I mean, if you're someone that, I mean, you know the Sony Handycam series already, but if you're someone that's looking to take good pictures, whether it's a still picture, now you can see right here they're advertising it, someone snowboarding or something to show that it's an action. But these are the three colors cameras right there. You have, they're pretty. They can fit right in the palm of your hands. I mean, you've obviously flipped that screen up. Fit right in the palm of your hands, or you can have it flat, like you see it right there, right here. There you go, right here. You see that it can be flat, flush against the side of the camera, or you can have it out. So depending on how you want to look at it, as you saw in the picture up here, see it can be out right here, or you can have it flush on the side. So, and it's made for high action shots. I mean, it's shock proof. You know what I'm saying? For when you talk 1.8 meters, that's standard standing distance, from the floor or whatnot. So it's not like it has to be, basically by your ankles for it not to be damaged. That's a standard hand holding height. And then you have the it's dust proof. It's waterproof up to up to a few meters underwater. So if you're going around, you're at the beach, you're whatnot, or you're at the pool and you drop this thing, in the water, it's not gonna, oh man, you freak out, it's gonna die. No, it's gonna be there. I mean, so if you're looking for a good camera that can take 1080p video at 50 frames a second, or it can take 20 megapixel still shots, you're looking for something on the go. Now, this is not a camera that's, if you're a big time camera buff, you forget about, your Rebel EOS camera. No, it's not that. But it's made for the person who wants to take quick shots. You have your children on the soccer field at school, or playing basketball, in a gym or something like that. Something you want to carry. You don't want to have a big camera around your neck. It's able to take that high definition video at 50 frames a second. So, it's not going to be choppy. 50 frames a second. Yep, that thing is able to take that. And if you just want to take still photos, you're out on vacation with your family, you want to take a couple of good high resolution still photos, 20 megapixels, this thing is good. Now, the only thing is, it's coming out in June, but the only thing is, how much is it going to be? Sony didn't reveal that, and a lot of times when you don't reveal that, that means one of two things. Either this thing is expensive, that's why they don't want to reveal it early, or they're not sure what they want to list it as, so they're still mulling that over. So hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully it's not so expensive that they're like, maybe coming out at $399 or something like that. That's like, I don't know if I want to pay that for. But if they can bring this camera out $199, if they can do that, this will be an incredible value for $199 if they can do it. But that don't mean they're gonna come up with that. So don't say that you heard it here. It was coming out for $199.
The flip is what, down to like $150.
Yeah, down to that. So
that would be the market, right?
That would be the market. But Sony is a kind of high-end type company. You know what I'm saying? So, and they don't normally go with what the market dictates a product should be. So we got to see how Sony responds. And I agree with you, that's the market. So you would think that Sony will say, oh yeah, so let me try to come at 150, but Sony doesn't normally think that way. They're more high-end products. And the thing is, people pay for the name Sony. They want to know they have a Sony in their hand. People will pay, $800 for a vial that, you can get. And as a matter of fact, Devin has a Sony TV right here in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. That tells us right now how people, they just regard Sony as a quality product, you see. So I don't know, and it has a one-button touch recording, no flipping through the menu. Just as you hold the machine right in your hand, right where your this finger would be, boom, click, right, record. So this thing is made for action. It's made for you to be sports on the go, quick pickup, boom, you start recording right away. So it's a good camera. It has a lot of good specs on it. And like they say that this thing is when I want to say submergible, not submergible, but this thing is waterproof.
Water resistant, or
Huh?
it's waterproof or water resistant?
They say they say this thing is up to 10 meters. It can be submerged up to 10 meters without for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Without it receiving any damage. So I wouldn't say it's waterproof, because eventually you leave it in long enough, they're saying that, you know, the water might seep in, but it's definitely water resistant. You can drop it in the pool, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, as long as you don't leave it there for more than an hour, which obviously you wouldn't. So, you know, this thing is, for all intensive purposes, you could say it's waterproof, but they're not saying that, because waterproof means no matter how long you leave it in the water, it's not gonna, so they're not saying that. They're saying up to an hour.
Because one of my first watches was supposed to be waterproof. My dad paid a lot of money for that watch. Waterproof.
And it wasn't.
That thing drank all the water. Every ounce. Like, sucking it up.
So, yep, they're saying that you can go up to 10 meters with this thing for up to an hour. Shock proof, dust proof. This thing is made for on the go. So we got to see what Sony does with this camcorder.
Looks good. Looks good.
It looks good.
20x zoom.
They didn't say how far the zoom would go. There's no. They said that it has a f1.8 to 3.4 G lens and a 4.6 millimeter back illuminated Cosmos sensor.
I was kidding about the zoom,
Yeah.
but what about the pixels? You said 20 or
20 megapixels.
that's pretty
20
good.
megapixels. That's
good.
pretty sharp. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty sharp. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no real zoom. You know what I'm saying? But a decent Cosmos sensor so that you get that quality crisp 1080p 50 frames per second image in AVC HD, MPEG-2 or MP4 formats. No AVI, you know, or anything like that. But you know, I guess you can't get everything.
No.
The question is, how much is it gonna cost? That's the question. And while we're mulling that over, for those of you who may remember Commodore, the Amiga system, way back in the days, you might be like, nah, I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not
Well,
the singing group, right?
No, not the singing group, the Commodores, the computer that used to be out way back in the
Okay.
Yeah, Commodore, they had launched a Amiga, which was their name of the PC back in the day, but it's a mini PC. As they say, Commodore USA has resurrected yet another Commodore brand with the launch of the Commodore Amiga Mini PC. And this one has a little more power than that original Commodore. You might remember. Let me kick down a couple of specs for those that might be interested. The Commodore Amiga Mini, small form factor computer. Inside, it has a 3.5 gigahertz Intel Core i7. You know what I'm saying? Not Core i5, Core i7, 27K processor is what they call it. The Core i7 27K processor. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, you know, an NVIDIA GeForce GT 430 graphics card, and the graphics card on it carries 1 gigabyte of RAM. So right away, you're looking at this. This is not, I mean, this is a mini PC, but this thing is pretty decent for the size right here. It also features, you know, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and your choice of a 300 gigabyte or a 600 gigabyte solid state drive. Plus, it comes with a slot for loading a Blu-ray player as a standard. Now, the price on this bad boy isn't going to be cheap. We're talking $24.95, $2,500 for this thing. You know what I'm saying? Although they are also offering a bare bones version that comes with the Blu-ray drive. Decent bare bones Blu-ray drive for $345. You see? It will be available in your choice of either black or silver. You can find out the details at Commodore.com. You know, if you want to find out when they're going to release it, and stuff like that. But you can get a bare bones model now. The model that we talked about, you have the 1 terabyte hard drive. It also features that, or you can get a 300 or 600 gigabyte. And that terabyte hard drive is the regular hard drive. If you want to get a solid state drive, which is faster than the regular hard drive, it comes in either 300 gigabyte or 600 gigabyte model, and it comes standard with a slot loading Blu-ray player. So you can play your Blu-ray movies on this thing. As a matter of fact, let me show you a picture. This thing is nice and small. I mean, for this thing to come with a 3.5 gigahertz Core i7 2700K processor, Core i7, mind you, is Intel's top-of-the-line processor running at 3.5 gigahertz, and it's a quad-core off the bat. Core i7's a quad-core off the bat, hyper-threading technology, which gives it that virtual. Now remember, we talked about the difference between virtual and actual cores. Virtual 8-core is not the same as actual 8-core. Just to explain it again for people who may not have heard it last time, you have the Core i7 is a quad core, which means 4 cores. With the hyper-threading, it gives it the ability to act as 8 cores. Now what that means is, think about having 4 people on an assembly line, and they can do the work like 8 people. But it's not 8 people. It's still 4. They're just doing the work like 8 people. That's virtual 8-core. Actual 8-core would be actual 8 people. So you have 8 people on the line instead of 4. So obviously, 8 people on the line could do much more work than 4 people that can do the work of 8. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So don't get confused when you go into the store and they're like, oh man, this thing got hyper-threading. You're getting 8 cores. No, you're not. You're getting 4 cores that work like 8. You see what I'm saying? And that's different than getting an 8-core machine. So now that we have that settled, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's what happened when slavery ended. We went from 8-core to virtual. Oh. My goodness.
We're working like 8.
Yeah. Simulated.
Simulating.
Yeah.
All right, this is the machine right here. The Omega. This thing looks stylish, man. Nice and silver. You can pick this up bare bones in this or black for $345. Now, bare bones, I don't know what their bare bones model is. You have to go to Commodore.com to see exactly what their bare bones is. But for $345, and it comes standard with a Blu-ray. The bare bones comes with a Blu-ray drive. You see what I'm saying? So it's not going to be like just traditional bare bones that don't have anything you really want. So this little system, I mean, is pretty good. These are things that we at Pulse Media, we look to get to test to see what's going on, you see? So
are we going to call them? See, let them know we want to test one?
Yeah, we do need to call them and say, look, we're a technology company as well. We want to test your product, and, so send us a version. You know what I'm saying? And see, what they'll do. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things that we want to get into here at Pulse Media, bringing the technology here, testing it, letting people retest it, and so we can tell you, hey, this is what worked. Matter of fact, as we wrap up, Devin, why don't you give the viewers your review of Sherper? You've been using that now for a week now. You've had it. Last Friday, that's when you downloaded it and you had a chance to test it and so forth. So as we come to the end of another Tech Pulse, we're just gonna end with Devin's wrap up, basic of what you think is Sherper. It's a free app, but I mean, is it worth it? Even though it's free, some things are free and it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Even free, it's not worth it. Yeah. Is Sherper something that people should be interested in using? Yeah,
it's not Google Glass. It's not. It's not, and the initial setup,
right,
as I told you, Reggie, was a little bit uncomfortable,
right,
because the setup window, you weren't able to scroll down fully to enter passwords,
right,
and all that. There's a way around it,
right.
So I had to figure that out. But in general, it was pretty easy to set up,
right?
Otherwise. So
how long would you say the setup takes?
Only because of that little quirk where you couldn't get to see because the keyboard comes up and
Right.
blocks the input.
Right.
So you don't get to see
don't
what
get
you're
to
inputting.
Right,
you know?
right.
So you have to know your password and such like, have to be quite accurate.
Right.
And you can't check it. So that's a little bit strange. I don't know how that happened, But in terms of use, the thing is so accurate. I'll be honest with you, my phone, I've been trying to get it to call up people in my address book
Right.
and not call up Reggie
Right.
for Urgie. I
Right,
don't
right,
know.
right, right.
It gives you all kind of different stuff. I've tried to call up Marie
Right.
for almost a year now, and I haven't figured out how to call up Marie. It just doesn't. It gives you,
Right.
some other variation of
Of
M's.
Marie, right.
Not even close. I don't know what it calls up. So I think it's nuance that
Nuances, yeah.
that my phone comes with. It's awful for me. I'm being honest. It's
Right.
just awful. But so I'm not sure if my excitement about Sherpa is because of the awful experience of nuance. Right? But it's so easy to operate. It responds very quickly. I wish there was an interface with the phone. In other words, it automatically, or you have to start it to get it to you.
It doesn't just not just a part of the phone,
No,
but a part
no.
of the boot up.
No, and when you press the button that you would assign for voice activation, it doesn't activate because it's not integrated into the phone system.
Right.
So you have to open the phone, go to the page that it's on, and activate it.
Right.
So that's a little bit,
Tedious, yeah.
Yeah, you wish you're talking about voice control, right?
Voice activation.
But after quite a bit of manual input. So
Right.
so we're missing
it really
that.
It takes away
from
it,
its
yeah.
effectiveness, and it's an easily fixable thing, I think. But I think they would have to build in for each phone, interface, I guess.
For it, yeah.
Yeah, versus just sitting on your desktop as an application. And otherwise, it works very, very nice. Intuitive. It doesn't make a lot of mistakes in terms of what you said. It's very intuitive and very clear about what you're saying. So I'm impressed, definitely impressed. And I'm sure they're going to come out with better
Updates to it,
versions
definitely.
that are improved and probably interfaces better with phones.
All right, so there you have it, folks. You know what I'm saying? We'd like to thank you for joining us here on Tech Pulse. We're going to come back Monday with another exciting episode. Everyone enjoy the weekend. Have a great weekend. We're going to see you on Monday. Thanks for joining us. Peace!